Hi guys, as promised I am going to be doing a tutorial on these fabric flowers, and they are the burned poly fiber stuff that we've been using to make the lollipop flowers. So I just made a different type of cut to do these. And they're really plasticky, so they're really good and durable. They are bulky, so don't want to be putting them in the corners of your mini books, but they're really cute and hard and awesome. This is still my favorite. I just love this one. So anyway, what you'll need is fire, some scissors, tweezers are good, and fabric and a glue gun. And a little piece of cardboard or heavy cardstock to mount this stuff all on. So I am going to show you on a piece of paper how I cut my fabric square. So I just fold my fabric square in half, or my strip in half, and then cut the fabric just like that. And then do it again, and I just keep folding it until it's about the size of the petal that I want it to make. So I keep folding and cutting and folding and cutting until I have a stack of fabric. We'll just say about that size. No, never mind. I'm just going to do one more. Okay, so I've got my little square here and a fabric, and then I'm just going to take the corners and just kind of round them off, just like that. I'll flip it over and do the other side, just round that off, and then you have kind of this leaf slash petal shape, and you've got a whole stack of them. So that's what I've got here. I've already done some of my fabric, so I've got these fabric squares. I'm using white. I haven't tried the white yet. So do that. And it's also easier if you use a candle to burn these. And this is a tin can candle. I really wish I was not so lazy and I'd go get a votive. It would be a lot easier, but I'm not, because I am lazy. So I'm just going to kind of burn the corners. Ouch. And when it melts, it's going to stay hot for a few seconds. So be very, very careful. And you just want to have that curl up. The edges kind of curl up a little bit and just have that plastic edge. And that'll help keep the shape when we heat it up with the heat gun. So again, you just kind of dip it in the fire just on the edge. Be super duper careful. I don't want anybody to burn themselves like I keep doing. Okay, now we have this, I've got all my stuff done, all my petals here burned on the edges. So we've got a couple extra smaller squares, and I want to make some stuff for the middle. So I'm just going to take it and kind of round out the edges and kind of make a heart shape. So I want to have like 2 petals stuck together. Alright, so then we have just, it looks like that, 2 petals stuck together or a half heart shape. And I'm going to burn these real quick and I will be back. Alright, so I have my little little petals and my big petals. So I have those both here. And I'm going to find a piece of cardboard. Sorry, I'm off frame. Desk space is a mess, so just ignore it. So anyway, I have my piece of, this is just corrugated cardboard, and I'm going to start hot gluing these petals. I like shiny side up. I'm going to hot glue these petals on here. On my mat. And I've got my petal here. Now, there are several ways that you can do this. I have found that doing it just dry will kind of burn it. You have to be more careful. If you put some kind of adhesive, I've used Elmer's or tacky glue, it dries slower and you don't have to be as careful with hitting the heat gun on this. Hairspray would probably work well, but since it's alcohol based, it does tend to dry out real quick. So you just got to do it quicker. I am just going to do this. Since it's a pretty heavyweight satin fabric, I'm just going to leave it like that and do it without using anything extra. So it burned, but that's okay. It just adds to it. The darker your fabric, the less likely you are. See, this one's black too, so it's not as noticeable, the burned edges on that. So then you really just start over doing the same thing. Alright, so I'm going to take these little heart shapes that we did and just barely glue them together. And we're going to kind of go in a little circle shape, barely overlapping. I've got these two little circles of those heart-shaped petals. I'm just kind of grabbing the glue strings off. There's a few. I'm going to take the smallest one and just kind of overlap it. I'm just going to put a couple of dots of glue here just to hold them together. Alright, so they're on top. And then I fold mine in half and then in half again. And if you can, even a half again. What you want to do is have all this fabric down here at the bottom in a little cone shape, just like that, because we're going to put a big old dollop of glue right in the middle, and you want to really gob it up here. Gob it up, take your cone and plunge it into that glue, and you're going to hold it for a second until some of that glue starts to solidify. And that way that glue is going to hold the petals upright. So even though they fall back down, once we heat them up a little bit, they'll still have a little bit of bulk. And that makes it a little bit more fluffy. So this is really kind of setting really well. Got a couple of glue strings right there. So now you have, slippery little sucker. So you have that now, and you can pull it out, kind of fluff it around a little bit. And you can leave it like that, but I really, really, really like the burned edges. So I'm going to plop this down here again, heat my heat gun back up, and just hit it in a couple of spots and let it curl up a little bit more. Alright, so there you go. Throw some, leave it in like it is, throw a pearl or anything in the middle of it. With these other ones, I've used some strings of pearls and some feathers.